Tuesday, December the 28th, the tragic accident last night on the Tollway has given rise to a lot of questions and stories about human tragedies.
Yes, it's really sad indeed. Most of the victims, most people were killed, those who thrown out of the van onto the street below. So, of course, this raises the question of whether van should seatbelt rule should be enforced on van.
What about the speed limit on the tollway?
Speed limit, we have checked with Tollway is 80 kilometers.
80, but you think
the officials told us normally they allow up to 110 kilometers per hour, because 80 of course is too unrealistic.
What actually happened? The car coming from behind hit the van.
Yes, the Honda Civic car, from what we know now, it hit the van. Both vehicles were moving at very high speed.
Yes.
Allegedly.
And the driver of the car did not have a driving license.
We're checking to confirm that. There's some conflicting information on that. Last night, police said it was a girl, 16-year-old girl, who was driving that Honda Civic. But this morning, the age of this woman was raised to about 18 years old. But we have heard, initially we have heard that this woman doesn't have a driving license yet.
And this shuttle bus runs between Thammasat campus or Rangsit campus and
Victory Monument.
That's why there were a few passengers who were killed who were
a lot of victims were one way or the other related to the Thammasat campus.
There was one person who had just graduated with a doctorate degree from England.
Yes, he was a real brain. He had a successful entrance examination for Sri but he dropped that. He decided to go overseas, and he came back with a doctorate degree.
And I think his mother was selling flowers in
he was an adopted son of this woman who was who's selling garland in Salabuli, and she reportedly told reporters that he decided not to buy a car because he worked very early in the morning and then very late at night, so he thought that traveling by van was safer for him.
You see, so in the end it's not safe at all for him. Then a few others who were quite talented people.
Right, there was one girl who was studying law at Thammasat, whose family wanted her to be a judge, and she herself wanted to be a judge also, and she was planning to go home in Ubon Ratchathani for a family reunion, but this happened.
What have the police said about the whole incident?
The girl who drove the Honda Civic still hasn't been charged yet, and the tollway officials that we contacted said they cannot tell from the closed-circuit CV whether how fast the cars were moving at that time. It will be up to the police investigation. It will be up to the police to question the people who survived this incident.
And this is not the first time that a speeding van on a tollway has had an accident.
I mean, if you mean the expressway, of course, this is not the first time. If you remember, at the end of October, we had another horrible accident in which one van was speeding and then lost control and then was thrown out of the expressway, and 8 people were also killed on that day also. Which raises the question of whether we should, impose the seatbelt rule.
I think it's about the speed and safety belts, and I think basically it's the quality of public transport drivers.
Right, because even though the tollway official said it was unrealistic to impose 80 kilometers speed limit, but for van, which is much more difficult to control than other vehicles, at least some speed limit should be imposed on at least on public transport vehicles.
Well, we hope that lessons will be learned from this incident, and we hope this will be the last, because we're going to lose a lot of lives unnecessarily if this continues.